So I'd like to introduce Vicky. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Please go
Yes,
ahead with
you're
the
on.
introduction.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce Vicky Dhakulkar, sir. So Vicky Dhakulkar is a professional specializing in competitive intelligence and strategic analysis within the pharmaceutical industry. He has expertise in market research, data analysis, and business strategy, helping the organization making informed decision. So his work focuses on understanding the market trends, competitor strategies, and industry dynamics. Vicky is passionate about guiding students towards non-traditional roles in pharma, such as analytics and consulting. His session highlights the importance of data-driven decision-making in modern pharma careers. So he provides insights into emerging roles beyond the core pharmacy domain. So his approach is practical, industry focused, and forward looking. So he inspires students to explore innovative and analytical career path. So, having said so, I'd like to request Vicky sir to proceed with the session.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so much.
accepting and invitation, and thank you so much, Barsha, for such a lovely introduction. Vicky, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Payam. Thank you so much, Barsha, for the introduction. So, sharing my screen. Just let me know when screen is busy. So, good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, Vicky, you are audible as well as the slides are visible.
Okay. So, guys, in this session, I think that let's keep this session conversational instead of just going one way. So, the title for the session is Where Science Meets Strategy, Careers in Pharmacy. Pharmacy is Pharmaceutical Competitive Intelligence. So, the session is focused on the students who are from the pharma background and wants to develop and grow in a career of competitive intelligence like CI and market research. So let's start with the session. And that what you'll learn with this session that how the CI, what is CI? First, what is CI? How it is gathered? How it is synthesized? What are the key industry databases and tools that we use in CI? So what are the methods we use for the forecasting mechanics? What are the FDA designations? How they impact the models? How they help pharmaceutical companies to get approval earlier? What is and how that AI automation is playing role into an CI industry? Is that how it is redefining it? And then we'll go with what are the career paths in the CI? Means how the consulting firm your career will grow, and in GCC how you can grow. What are the competencies that you need to build? So let's go start with the session. So there are the six modules. The first one is the commercial bits. Second one is the mechanics of the pharmacy here. The third one is the market forecasting, which is not a the forecasting is a completely different space. Just to cover into the session, I included forecasting because along with CI, we also use the forecasting to give the data-driven insights to the clients. Then the tech-enabled analyst means how a tech-enabled analyst should look like. Then what is the career landscape in the CI, and what are the career drivers. So let's go to the first module. So what is competitive intelligence? So you might have an questions. So what is competitive intelligence? Competitive intelligence. Intelligence means an information which is useful to take decisions. Like there are wars. Most of the countries are having wars. So they need an intelligence, means that what my opponent is doing. So the similar in pharmaceutical industry, there are multiple. The market is filled with a lot of big pharma companies. And so every pharma company wants to know that what my competitor is doing different. So that he is here that pharma company is able to maintain a competitive advantage. So basically, the competitive intelligence it is a systematic and analysis of data to predict a competitive behavior, how the market is going to shape, and it's not a corporate specialty. It is a structured strategic foresight that informs executive decisions across pipeline, commercial, business development strategy. Because means it is a market, there are multiple players in the market. So if any drug loses a drug, means if it loses an exclusivity, the generics will enter. And what might happen if there, suppose what happened with the you all know that what happened with the semaglutide. Previously it was the number one, and then Lilly launched its product. Completely the market was disrupted. Similarly, the multiple breakthroughs are going on and the market disturbs. And the industry is constantly changing. So every pharma company needs to know that what my competitors are doing. And considering the pharma industry, so the intelligence is scattered. Means there is no single source which gives an information that what competitor. You have to collect information from multiple sources, and you have to collate them in a structured manner so that a client can understand. It's easy to digest for the client, and then he'll take a decision for it. So there are the three pillars of the CIML. The first is the early warning system to inform the client that at earliest that this competitor has done this, so that he can prepare himself. Then clinical interpretation is if there are multiple drugs in the pipeline. So some drugs are in phase 1, phase 2, some are in preclinical, some are in phase 3, late stage, some are in phase 2. So if a drug is in a particular clinical stage, so we can predict that in which year, in which month, this drug is going to be marketed. And what is the progress of that drugs? What are the progress of those candidates in the clinical trials? So based on that information, we can make some predictions, we can make some forecasts, and we can predict the probability of success. We can estimate the launch timelines. There are multiple things that can be assessed with the help of this data. And what now is happening in the CI industry, that CI is in a, what we can say, practice, that there is a lot of information. And considering AI, it's basically whatever the definition, all you know about the AI is that is the large language models. And everyone knows that, everyone thinks that the AI is only the LLM. AI is a very broad term. And LLM is the part of that, which comes under a generative AI. So the current CI practice is being accelerated with the help of AI. So then now what are how the CI is helping to the clients? I mean, there is an increase in efficiency of around, there is a reduction of the CI cycle time. Previously, there was, I think, if we want to build a report and give it to the client, it used to take a lot of time. Even when we prepare manually reports for the like pre-conference, during conference or post-conference reports, previously it used to take a lot of time. It's because you had to write everything manually, you have to check the grammars and this kind of things. And the best thing about the AI is that once you ask him to do something, it doesn't make grammatical mistakes, it doesn't make some formatting mistakes. It does all of things well. So there is a 60 to 70% reduction in CI cycle time. Then there is a 27% faster opportunity evaluation. And so you are getting information early, so you are able to digest it early. So you'll be able to take a decision faster. Then, so what are the steps in CI? So this is an EVS framework. You can go on the Evaluator website and you can check that how the competitive intelligence is done. So firstly, it is defined. Means if I want to start a CI for a particular company, take an example of answer. So I want to, if I'm taking an answer is a very big form. So we can take any one product for an answer. So what we'll have to do, we'll have to decide a product, or we'll have to decide at least a therapeutic area. And in that therapeutic area, you have to decide an indication. It means that you are defining everything. So you are defining indication, you are defining therapeutic area, means for what therapeutic area you want to do an CI, for what indication you want to do an CS. So you can do this thing. So first to define indication, first to define company. Then now you have to define competitors, that whom competitors you want to track. So for a company like Anson, it's a very big company and not all companies can disrupt its market. So you can define some 10 or 15 competitors, or you can keep it, what you can say, open to all the competitors. So once you define everything, then we go to the gathering. And so now you know that who are your competitors, which is your indication. So you'll gather an information into that space. You'll gather everything, the historical data, the present data, what might come into the future, means when the new clinical trial results and everything will be released. So you gather that data. Okay. You define, you gather data. Now what you'll do, you'll analyze that data, because whatever the data you have gathered, it's not necessary that all data is useful to you. So you'll analyze data, which data is important, which data is not important. Post analysis, you'll synthesize that data, and then that data will be distributed to the stakeholders. And if we take a consulting firm, if we have a consulting firm, it is an external CI, means it is given by the vendors like we. So what we do, we deliver the data to the client. So what will happen with that data? That data will go to the internal stakeholders of the pharma companies, who will take decision based on that. Means if I have given some CI report, if I did a CI related to the clinical, then that data will go to the medical person clinical team. If I did an CI related to the marketing and brand, So that data will go to the marketing teams. In this manner, everything depends that for what purpose you have done CI, and that CI will be distributed into an organization based on it. So one more thing, as in the second step, we told that we have to gather data. So you'll ask me that from where we'll get that data. So there are some industry databases which gives you an access to data in a structured form. Like the Sightline is there. Sightline is a paid database which comes from the Nostella is the company. So it is used for the R&D and clinical trials. And then there is a data, I think the Pharma projects, Sightline. And it is used for the tracking the global R&D pipeline, clinical trial timelines, site level intelligence across all phases. And if you want to access all data, all what we can say events related to the clinical trials, then clinicaltrials.gov, which is a standard body, means it's mandatory. If you are doing any clinical trial, which is an US-based company, it has to register on a city.gov. And you'll find any trial, means if the company is going to start, if they have started, the trial is completed, every status is updated on the CT. But just to giving a disclaimer, the data is not updated in real time. Sometimes it takes a time to update data on the CT.gov. So you can take it as a reference when you are putting any clinical trial, you can put an NCT item. So there are also other clinical trial registries like Utracity is there. Then China's clinical trial registry is there. Japan's clinical trial registry is there. And also the India has its own clinical trial registry. Any clinical trial is going on in India. Then there is Alpha Sense. It is a gold standard for the industry. Means that if any event has occurred in the world, it doesn't matter when occurred, within 30 minutes to 1 hour, you'll see a report or you'll see an update on Alpha Sense. And now that Alpha Sense is equipped with an AI, you have to just ask a question. It will go deeper to the database data. It will analyze all data and it will give structured insights that to your questions, whatever the key business questions you have. So Alpha Sense, which is a paid database. Then there is a Pharma Tech, where you'll get reports, the analyst reports related to the pharma industry. That can be, it's also the paid database. I'm just letting you know that when you go into the industry, you must be aware that these are the databases, and it's not that difficult to learn those databases. It's very easy. Once you get access to those databases, you can learn them. It's not too difficult. It's just a hype created that it's very difficult to use those databases. It's nothing like that. But you should be capable of doing it. You should be able to use those databases in a what we can say an efficient manner. Then the IQ and Symphony. These are the databases. They are mainly the databases for the prescription data, because IQVIA is the world's biggest CR. So they have a data. They have around 1.2 billion patient records for the electronic medical record and all. They have a data in a structured form, and they have a real world data, the unidentified records. So the IQVIA has a leverage, and Symphony also gives the data. This data and these data sets are used for the forecasting purposes. And also the IQVIA gives them sales data, which is used by the Indian pharma companies also to just know that what is going in the market. So in CI, when you're entering into a CI, you must be aware about the various drug designations. When a pharma company files an what we can say NDA. So if there are some drugs which are what we can say there are for the therapies. Means there are some diseases for the cure is not available, and there are some drugs which are in a clinical trial and they show their promising activity. Like, so you can get those designations like fast track designation. Fast track designation is given to the drugs which are for the serious conditions and with the unmet medical needs. So it what we can say expedites review, enables partial submission before the full dossier is complete, and gives an approval. Then there are the breakthrough therapies and therapy, like take an example of a cancer. Take an example of lung cancer, so a deadly disease. So if there is some drug which is showing a very good evidence in phase 2, and if you want to go ahead with the real patients, so then basically the cancer is done with the real patient. There is no healthy population involvement. So if a molecule which is showing good, what we can say, exceptionally good clinical results in the clinical endpoints, then this is used. Then the orphan drugs means there are some designations given to this drugs if a drug is treating a population which is less than 2 lakhs. This is a number for US. For world, it might be different. So the orphan drug designation is given, and the orphan drug exclusivity is also given. Then there are some priority reviews for the drugs. these are the drug designations. Once you know the drug designation, because it is going to expedite the approval of the drug, which will directly affect the launch of that drug into the market. Then considering the forecasting, so there are two ways for the forecast. The first one is the epidemiological models, and the second one is the prescription-based model. Before getting a forecast, if you want to forecast an a drug sales in a particular what you can see territory, you want to predict and total sales. What will, if you have a drug pipeline, and if you want to predict that what will be the total sales into the India for any disease. Let's take an example of diabetes. So you want to predict that how many patients. So based, if you go with the epidemiological models, what you'll do, you'll firstly know that what is how much people are diagnosed with the diabetes. You'll get the diagnosed population. Then you'll get a treatment eligible patients if you have a drug which is for a specific line of treatment or a specific type of diabetes. Then you'll have to identify the total eligible patients. Then you'll have to identify the market shares of the other competitors. And there are multiple factors you have to consider. So this is an epidemiological models. And another is the prescription-based models, that for a particular disease, how many prescriptions are given in an year, in a month, for a particular indication. So based on the historical data that you have, like trend projection, market share assumptions, revenue model or forecast horizons, this kind of things. You can read the PPT and we can have a conversation later on this. And this is the market exclusive, like the NC. Means if you have a drug which is completely a new molecular entity and you have filed NDA. So post your approval, you have 5 years of data exclusivity. Means that FDA will not give approval to the company, to a generic company for the generic version of your drug, because he can't use your data because you have performed clinical trials. So you have FDA gives that act, FDA gives that right to the innovator firm that no one can get approval based on that clinical data for the 5 years. This is the data exclusivity given to the, and it doesn't mean that it is a part of exclusivity. It means data exclusivity just for the approval. If the patent is lost, so anyone, but without FDA approval, no one can sell a drug into an US market. Then this is a orphan drug exclusivity, which is in 7 years. And then a biological reference exclusivity with the BLA. And this is the 6 years for the medical devices. Then talking about the conferences, means if you want any clinical data, if someone will ask me that where I'll get the data earliest about any clinical trials, so these are the conferences. So someone will ask that why the earliest clinical data is released into conferences. So these are the medical conferences. So what happens means in medical conferences, there is a pool of the scholars from the world. So if some clinical trials are going, so company release posters or company has some symposia sessions. So they say there that this drug is performing well and it has given some good results. So you can think about this drug to prescribe in real time. So it gives them and two things. The first one is they can market or they can what we can say show the drug to the prescriber. So at least they'll know about it. And if that drug is approved, they'll think about it to prescribe it. So during conference, we gather here. There is a pre-conference delivery. Means before a conference starts, so there is a conference planner. We what we can say scrape that planner. We prepare a conference planner in Excel sheet and PowerPoint. So we tag it. We prioritize the session based on the client's requirement, that which indication he wants to focus, which keywords he wants to focus, what are the products he wants to keep eye on the competitive products. Then there is a during conference. During conference means on the days of conference. Means suppose the conference is starting on the 5th and is going to 10. So 5 to 10, we real time give updates about what is happening, which session discussed what was the key focus of competitor on that. And there is a post-conference delivery based on whatever the data that we have gathered during conference, pre-conference. We what we can say compile and pull it and report, and which is given to the client with CI commentaries and complete analysis. So this is specifically about the conference, and mostly you'll see that if you go in the careers for the CI competitive intelligence, conference is a major part, and most of the data and all things you'll get into the conferences because it's a restricted space. Then talking about the forecasting. Forecasting, there are 4 families like qualitative forecasting, means with the help of qualitative techniques, time series analysis, casual like regression modeling, and the simulations. For the qualitative forecasting, we use the consumer market survey, sales for composite, jury of expert opinions, Delphi method, and it is used for it is ideal for the launch of any product with the limited Rx system. Means there is something and a product like for a new indication or a completely new product for which an historical data we don't have. So we'll use qualitative. We'll perform primary market research. We'll ask the experts that how this drug will perform post launch. So this kind of things are forecasted with the help of the qualitative methods. In the time series analysis like moving averages, smoothing, simple halt printers, trend and seasonality analysis, multi-septio decomposition, ACF, PACF, uh, autoregressive integrated moving averages. It predicts from the historical RX data. So we have a data set from the ICT Simple. We use those data and we use this for the time series analysis. Then like regression analysis based, I think you all know about the regression equations. We use those equations and we check that which factor will affect to other factor or the sales to what level. So embeds market scenario, worst case scenario, best case scenarios, epidemiological rates prediction that how the prevalence is going to grow into a particular territory. What are the incidence numbers, pricing, competitive entry into forecasting. And then the simulations like Monte Carlo simulations, risk system dynamics, risk analytics means it is a computer program which uh, gives probabilities and which is completely automated. You can use it for the forecasting, quantify the uncertainty, use directly into an LOE scenario planning, merger and acquisition, stresses. So the CI integration. So means to predict that when the competitors drug will come into a market. So their role of an what we can say forecasting comes into NCA. Mostly we don't use forecasting tools. CN forecasting must be tightly integrated. Yes, it should be tightly integrated. So to what we can say to assess that what will be an impact of an CI event, what will be the timeline. So and mostly about the LOE, because if any company loses a patent or the patent is expired, then that company is going to lose a large share of revenue. Let's take an example of Keytruda. Keytruda is going to, I think, expire in the next 10 years. So it's going to affect more because it's in a world's best selling cancer drug, PD-L1 inhibitor. So it's going to happen. So we help clients that how to deal with that and what about the decisions to be taken. How the merger acquisition, if there is some startup which has developed a molecule, considering its clinical profile, what are the competitive differentiation it's going to give to the client, where it will be launched, to help them. The R&D protection, then which pipelines they should focus on, which pipelines they should not focus on, how should be their commercial strategy, considering the revenue models and all. And how they should, what we can say, life cycle management. Also, we do the business development and licensing practices. Means we guide client that which molecules they should license if they are in phase 2 or phase 3 for a particular indication, for a particular disease, so that they can acquire that molecule, develop it, launch it, and sell it to whatever the price they want. Then this slide is not completely, so I'll just go verbally for this. There are multiple use cases about the AI I have developed at Accelerator. So I can discuss them on the slide in detail, considering the confidentiality. So I'll let you know. So let's start with the conference. So in conference, we have a pre-conference. So we get a conference planner. So previously there was a time. So we used to take around 40 to 50 hours for an analyst to take on a conference planner of 3,000 rows, read each session, abstract, tag it, prioritize. So we had developed a workflow which does these things in, I think, if we take a total time, considering AI and human intervention, it does it into 7 to 8 hours. Means the thing which used to take previously 40 to 50 hours, now it takes 7 to 8 hours maximum. And if I take the role of AI, means just how much time AI take to do it, it's roughly 15 to 20 minutes, which used to take a lot of time previously. So considering that, and in previously we used to use some tools for processing videos. Now we have some in what we can say in-house tools which processes video, which generates a transcript of video and summaries, both reports. There are multiple. Even just we are working on an end-to-end conference automation. And another use cases we have developed is the systematic literature review. So the guys who are working in literature, they know that how it's difficult to read 400 or 500 abstracts and titles, screen them. We have developed some, I have personally developed some use cases like the phase 1 screening of title level and abstract level screening. Previously, it used to take around 30 days to screen 1,000 abstracts or 1,000 titles. Now it takes just 5 to 6 days. I'm talking about end-to-end work. It's not just that AI has done. You need to also validate. Na? If AI has given some response, you always need a human in the loop. So you can use that. And basically the best thing that you need to know about the AI is that you need to be able to give the right prompts. If you're good at prompting, I think you don't need to learn a lot of things because AI can solve it for you. There was a time then at the Janssen Huang has said that the most valuable skill before 3 or 4 years, before the AI come, was among the coding. And AI is replacing that coding. Means previously, it was considered that the people who knows coding are the intelligent ones. And when AI came, it took the first job. That was the coders. I'm not saying that it has completely replaced the product, but if you have a paid subscriptions of an large language models like Claude and something, so you have the world's best coder with you. So they are in this way that CI, and means a lot of things are being disrupted by the AI. This is about, and also I can talk about other use cases. And so there are multiple cases I have developed. You can connect me in person. I can discuss those use cases. And one more thing, that if you are using AI, it is giving a response. The workflow is ready. Everything is ready. It's working smoothly. But whatever my experience based on AI is that the hallucinations are there. You can't blindly trust any AI. That you can't. When we work with AI, when we get reports, when we get responses, the first task is to validate that does it is matching with the source. I have worked with what we can say, there are some internal tools which are exceptionally well at web scraping. It takes I think $2.4 for one request. If I'm giving a query, it takes $2.4. It scans entire web. It reads around 20 to 30,000 pages. And still, what you know, that it hallucinates. I'm paying $2.4 for a deep research agent, and it is giving me a response, and it is saying something which is not matching with the source. And from that day, I lost my trust on the AI. And the day before also, I had some instances that it hallucinated, it gave some wrong responses. So I'll suggest that the AI should be used for an high volume task. Like I suggest that if you want to process the data of 20 or 30,000 rows or 3 or 4,000 rows. So high volume tasks, you should use AI, but for the task where you need thinking, analysis, deep insights, judgment, then I think it's always better to go with it. AI can give you what we can say the multiple dots or multiple pieces, but you have to connect the dots and you have to come with the story of it. You can ask an AI to prepare an PPT for you, but it's not like that. It will prepare a PPT, but does it is matching with your story? It is telling something that the client can understand very easily and what you want to say to them. It's also about that. So about the CI vendors, the first with the value sir. So it is a consulting company and market research. So we deliver a CI to the all 15 big pharma companies out of the top 15. Sorry, all 12 top 12 big pharma companies out of the top 15 pharma companies. Then the President Healthcare Group is there. They are also good. They have a thought leadership partnership model. Then Clarivate, you might know Clarivate. So they provide a database like Cortelis. It is a similar database like the Pharma Pipeline project. And also they provide some services like POS, probability of success calculation, if there is a molecule into a phase 1 or phase 2. So they'll perform a deep analysis. They have analysts, and they'll, based on their framework, they will give an analysis that this molecule has a higher probability or low probability of being succeed or came into the market. And you all know, as I think most of the people are from pharma, and everyone knows that what is the probability of a molecule to come into a market. Then as ES Associates, which is basically a management consulting company. This is a core consulting company for the pharma. And they have an AI like Zedin AI suite. And though for the commercial analytics. And there are other AI tools also, like the IQA is there, Deloitte licenses, there, McKinsey company. There are a lot of companies. One more tool I would like to talk about is the Pharma AI, which is from an ZoomRx. It's a database company. They have a Pharma AI kind of startup. They owe it. And they, I think, whatever I have understood, that they are doing exceptionally great with that. Then this is a career path. Means if you go with the CA, there are two ways to progress in your career. The first one is the consulting path, like Evaluator, IQ, CS, Deloitte, McKinsey, BCG, Bain. And the second one is the big pharma. That now what is happening? there are all the big pharma companies. Instead of getting CI from the external vendors, they're setting their own CI. Like Novartis. Novartis has what we can say, it's an oldest GCC in India. Not oldest, but they have an CI from a long time. Sanofi has set up their GCC, I think last 1 or 2 years back. Lilly has their GCC, GSK. So they have their internal CI, they have their internal stakeholders, so that the data remains in their company. And there are differences if you are working in consulting. So I joined in July. As of now, I have worked with the 10 clients, 10 big pharma clients. So what I'll suggest with you is that the consulting is in a fast-paced environment. Here clients change, here projects change. But in big pharma, what will happen? If you are in an internal CI of Novartis, so what will do? You'll work only for Novartis. You'll be knowing everything from end to end about the Novartis, how to think. So there are different things. If you want a diversity, you should go for the consulting path. If you want to work for only a specific company, then you can go for the GCCs, Global Capability Centers. So the role models, there are multiple things in a consulting company. I'm in a CI team. I'm in a life sciences and healthcare team. It's not like that I'll be working only on CI. I work on market sizing projects. I work on forecasting projects. I work on CI projects. I also work on the AI automation projects, which comes to the team. And now, if you'll ask me about what are the career paths, so to get into an GCC, it's a little bit difficult. You need to have some experience, because if you if you are an analyst, if you are a senior analyst in an consulting company, and when you appear for a big pharma company, so they'll hire you as an analyst. So it's a little bit difficult. So it's always better to have an experience in a consulting company and then go to the big pharma. So the career paths in a consulting company is like, firstly you become a JRA, junior research associate, like a junior analyst. Then you become an analyst. Then you become a senior analyst. Then you transition into a consultant. Then you become senior consultant. Then you become an engagement manager or the principal consultant. And then you become a principal, and then associate director. So this is the ladder. And post associate director, there are some posts like a VP. You become a vice president. And it depends on the organizational structure of each company. That's how. And in big pharma, it's the manager. And in big pharma, the highest position you can get is that is the disease area lead, therapeutic area lead, and you can go to the director and senior director levels. So you'll be sitting with the executives, senior executives of the company. Then what are the advantages? You can read in the slides. And I'll suggest, based on my experience, I'll suggest if you want a diverse experience, if you want to work in a fast-paced environment, if you want that, you want a kick your work, that you want a complete, constantly changing environment. If you want to learn a lot, then consulting is for you. And if you want something that if you want to work only towards one goal, if you want that, no, I just want to work for one firm. I want to work on the specific and therapeutic area. I don't want to move too much. Then a GCC is for. So what are the competencies that you need to be into an CI? The first one and most important, that is the domain experience. If you are from pharma, well and good. I have seen people who are from pharma, biotech, and they are also doing very good. There are people who are from hardcore engineering. They are also doing well. So it's not necessary, but it's always good to have a domain knowledge. If you have a strong base of pharmaceutical knowledge, it will help you to gain success in NCS, because when you go for the reading clinical data and something kind of things, so they're only the people who have an in-depth knowledge about that settings, about the therapy areas, so they succeed. Like the database, should be able to at least use clinicaltrials.gov. You should have a knowledge of PubMed or a Medline database, which is a free, of course. AlphaSign, Sightline, Fortalice, these are the paid databases. You might not get exposure as a fresher, but when you get into N companies, then you'll get access to these databases. You can use those databases. And also like IQVIA provides some databases, means specific data sets. Then you can get access to that. Then the automation skills. As of now, I'd suggest it's the basic thing that everyone knows, like the MS Office, but everyone doesn't aware about all functions of MS Office. Even if you take an Excel, everyone knows that. No, I know Excel. It's not. Excel is I think there was a trainer in my company who taught us that he told us that I'm teaching Excel from the last 10 or 11 years, and I still don't know complete Excel. She has experience around 15 or 16 years. So considering MS Office, we think that we know, but we don't know. We'll get to know. Then I'll suggest you should learn Python. Not what we can say from scratch. Now AI, it writes the code for you. Just you should know that what I want and what is mine. If you are aware about it, then AI can do it for you. You can write the code, you can run it, and you can get very good results of it. And I suggest Python for the data analysis. So it's very good at that. And generative AI tools, like you should know. Firstly, I'll suggest learn prompting, how to prompt AI. Once you learn prompting, then you can advance into your AI experts. Learn prompting, then you can you can create AI pipelines, you can create some tools, you can then go for the front end, back end, and this kind of things. So I'll suggest first learn prompting and then go for the workflow automation. So which will help you to go higher in NCR. Then this fourth one is the ethics and integrity. You should maintain, because means if you are performing in CI for big pharma clients, so in a consulting company, you'll have multiple clients. So you might have all big pharma clients, and each client doesn't know that. Means we don't tell that who is our client. So you need to maintain an integrity. Means if you are working on a project of Anson, the data from the Anson should not go to the team who is working on Apple. So there are multiple things. So you have to maintain a compliance, you have to maintain an integrity. And when you are getting an information about the competitors through a primary research, you need to maintain a data integrity. Means there most of the people do a primary research, and whatever the research they do, that doesn't make sense. They, what we can say, falsify data and then present it to the client. So that should not be done. If you are getting an information from a competitor company by calling in or doing primary research, you should follow all ethical guidelines. You should not ask them the confidential information to share with. So you have to just collect data from an open source. It's not like that you have to work like a spy into NCR. And if you have some questions like this, you can ask me. And this is all from my side. So then we'll go towards your questions. This is my profile, and if someone wants to reach out to me, you can contact me on LinkedIn, you can text me, you can mail me, or you can visit my website. I'll show you my website.
Vicky, you can show. Yeah, that's what. Okay.
Should I show website?
Yes,
first,
yes. Please show your website. Yeah, that would be better.
Yes.
In the meanwhile, while Vicky sir is showing you all the website, where he's a very dynamic person, I've got to spend some time with him, and let me tell you, you have to learn a lot. So this boot camp is a way of expanding your network, and there have been more than 800 participants in these 2 days, and of more than 22 states. So you get to learn from each and every person, and so many keynote speakers right from morning. We have, and Vicky is the fourth speaker for today. So I hope that you all have got something to learn from this session. Surely. Thank you, Pratima ma'am. And Vicky, we also have Dean of SMVC College who have joined today, Pondicherry. The Dean ma'am has also joined for the session. Yeah, the link, shall I present that link? I cannot find. Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. So this is my portfolio website. If someone wants to connect me about the, if someone wants to learn the CI, if someone wants to learn that how AI is, what we can say, redefining CI, there are multiple things. The core expertise I have is I'm capable of building an agentic CI pipelines for the pharmaceutical competitive, what we can say, intelligent workflows. I have a deep expertise in competitive intelligence. Then CI automation tools, like you can read a website completely if you get some time. Then I'm also offering a mentorship to the students who are preparing for an life sciences consulting interviews. I also worked as a placement coordinator at NIPER. So I have seen people giving interviews. I have coordinated with the stakeholders. I know that what exactly they want. Based on my understanding, my experience, I can help the people who are working for the CID. And also, I had done pretty well in competitive examinations like GPAD, NIPER, GADB, ITB entrance examination. And the poem was with me in NIPER Mohali. So if someone wants to gain I think the poem is the better person to get insights about. If someone wants to know that what were my insights, that how I prepared for these examinations and all, so you can connect with me whenever you want. I also offer an one-on-one mentorship and coaching for this examination, and also the life sciences consulting interviews exam preparation. So you can connect. Then I also write some blogs here. If you want to read, you can read. And talking about my experience, I'm working in an evaluator in a life sciences and healthcare team under an division of insights and advisory. So where we work for the competitive intelligence for the big pharma. I have developed some AI agents which are working wonderfully for different automations. I have deployed some agents. I'm working on some complete suits like for systematic literature reviews for business development licensing and all. Then I previously worked as a product development executive commenter at Antwin, which was a startup. So where I helped to validate the responses of the formulation regulatory and that was a great experience. And I was also the placement coordinator at Antwin. And then this is about my education. I completed MS in pharmaceutics from Dr. Arvind Vinsal Lab, Mohali, and I completed my B.Pharm from Government College of Pharmacy, Amravati, and my B.Com, Bachelor of Commerce from YCM Nashik from the distance education. These are the skills and credentials that I hold. I did some school, what we can say courses. Everything I learned by myself about the AI. And I'm also the person in my team. I'm the only person that was driving the agentic initiatives from a complete LSSC. There were 3 people, and I'm one of them. I'm from the pharmacy IT.
And great to see so many good courses that you have done from IIT Roorkee, IIT Bangalore, and IIT Bombay. Lovely.
Yes. And then these are the blogs I write whenever I get time. So this is a blog which was written by me. Then what happened? The revenue of the Lily's product, which crossed the revenue of the Keytruda. That was some an historical achievement that because that never happened before. The Monjaro and Zepbound crossed Keytruda's revenue, which was something new because till now, from the last 5 or 6 years, that it was happening in an industry that the oncology molecule were the number 1. And this happened first time that a molecule which is a non-oncology crossed that number 1. And I think it has changed now. That's why I wrote an historical shift in a global pharma leadership. I write some blogs whenever I get time. You can come here and read that. And I don't know that. This is if someone wants to connect me, they can. If someone wants to connect me, can visit this page. This is my number. This is my LinkedIn profile. And if you want to mail, we can mail. And this is something all about. So we can go with the questions if you have that.
Yes, the forum is now open for the questions. If anybody has anything to ask or if anybody has anything to discuss with Vicky, sir, he is open. Vicky, I think so. There are 2-3 questions already in the chat box. If we can pick up them. First is by Sagar Vijay Kumar Gupta. And also, in the meanwhile, while Vicky is observing the questions, there's a small change. Professor Shyam Sundar Sharma, sir, unfortunately, because of his unavailability, he'll be taking a session today itself at 7:30 p.m. exactly after Dr. Pushpendra Kumar. So Dr. PK classes session will be from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Professor Shyam Sharma, sir, will be conducting the session. And from 9 to 10 p.m., Dr. Asim Saifi will be conducting the session. So I hope that you all have your evenings fixed with us.
Okay, so
yeah,
I'm starting with the Dipansh.
Yeah, please.
Achha, he's talking about PPT. Let me. Okay, Sagar. So how to get into an evaluator or NSE account? So the first one way is that you get an access to these forms with the campus recruitment. Mostly the people without an experience, if you are a fresher, so the companies prefer to hire people from the conference. And it's that everyone is not lucky to get hired by a campus. So what you can do, you can perform an internship to some CR firms like there are CR scientists and life science consulting. There are some small startups who offer an internship to the students, so they can get an internship there. Like there is a PropDN is the company. So I have seen people. There was some analyst in my team. She did an internship. She was from DIPSA. She did her MBA, and she did an internship for the 6 or 7 months, and there was a vacancy in my company. So she applied, and she got a position of analyst. I'm a junior analyst, and she got a position of analyst because she had an experience of 6 to 7 months as an intern. So I think if you're a fresher and if you don't have an experience, I suggest first have an experience, have internships, 1 or 2 internships or 3 internships, whatever you get. And even before joining Evaluator, I worked as an intern for 9 months with the Entwin. So there are two scenarios that will happen. If you get out of the campus and you don't have an internship, I will suggest have an internship. So that will help you to get a better job. And if you are in campus, you should also do the internship because that will help you into a campus placement process. So is it solving your question? Sorry, doubt, Sagar, or something else I can talk about? The second question from the CAF Ahmed is that do we need to expert in Python or C? As of now, you don't need to be expert in Python. I'll suggest you can use Python for the what you can say automation workflows. Like if you want to create a pipeline of agents, so it's always best to use Python because Python gives a customization that none platform can give you. Because you have a code, you have to change it. Whatever you want, you can get out of it. If you want to process the data from an in a spreadsheet, if you want to create a PPTs, so the Python is the best option. And I think Python is for the automation. If you want to what we create automation tools, if you want to analyze data, which is a large data, if you have a large data set, then the Python is, I think, necessary. But don't worry, it's not very difficult to learn a Python. You can use Python. You can ask AI to write a Python. You can learn that code on anti-gravity VS Code. It's not that difficult that the coding is something very difficult. Everyone can do it. Now the AI does it for you. Just you know that what is the input you are going to give and what is the output you are expecting. If the code is giving errors, ask AI that this is giving me error, how I can do this, how I can solve this. The skills, I'll suggest that firstly, you should have a capability of secondary research. You should be able to find a data on an open web because that is something which is means there is data is there, but not everyone can get it. So that is the first one skill. You should enhance your secondary research skill. You should enhance your Googling skills. You should be able to give better prompts to the AI. You should get a data which is credible. It is not something that you are giving data and no one can trust on that data. You'll have to understand this. And that is the first one. The second one is the analytical skills. You should be able to understand the data, what is given there. So if this article, if this research paper is saying something, if this abstract is saying something, then so what? So what is going to do with my client? So how it's going to affect and what we can say product of my client? How it's going to disrupt a market? And this kind of things need to be understood. So I'll suggest that you need to learn secondary skills. The second is you must have robust analytical skills. And the third one is the communication skill. You should be capable of communicating what exactly you want to say. Because if you are in the client calls and if you have to explain something, a client don't know anything. He don't know anything. You have to explain it. It's like that you are explaining to a student who is in 12th or 12th or first or second year. So you should be capable of explaining things in a simplest manner. So the communication skills is there, and then MS Office must. And there's other basic things, and there are multiple things. And I'll suggest learning. It will help. There are multiple things I could have shared, but considering the confidentiality concerns, I can't share. So this was brief I could do. If you have any question, please put it into the chat box, or you can speak. We can also speak, if Payam permits.
Of course, there's no risk of permitting at all. You all must visit. Vicky is a plethora. कहते हैं ना भंडार है वो energy का he has a lot of abundant knowledge. So definitely आपको जहाँ से knowledge मिले लेनी चाहिए wherever you get from. Any other queries or doubts that we have up for the session? I know that would be very tired morning se lage ho, but I hope that these sessions are very valuable, especially the one that we just had of competitive intelligence, because आजकल काफी चल रहा है ये what is forecasting, what is CI, BI. So everybody is just running behind Power. We had a lot of session today on Power BI as well. So आप लोगों ने देखा होगा, right? And a lot of the previous session only about competitive intelligence. Akshat has mentioned how dashboards are created, how you check out the different portfolio. So definitely this is an amazing session. So Vicky, a heartfelt gratitude to you for taking out time from your hectic schedule and joining us and guiding, mentoring the students for this amazing career accelerator boot camp. And you have provided a lot of insights to them. And personally, even I have got to know a lot of databases, AlphaSense and clinical trials.gov, all of the things that you mentioned today definitely are going to add a lot of value to individuals' life. And I hope they connect to you as well and get to learn more, they upgrade themselves. Once again, a lot of heartfelt thank you to you, Vicky.
Thank you so much, Payam. It's always an honor to be with you and on this session. So thank you
Likewise.
so much, everyone, for your time. It was a great session.
Okay,
I hope
one Sagar
you
Gupta
learned.
has a
Yes.
last question if we can take up that.
Yes,
Have
yes,
you
yes.
answered that? Yeah. One doubt is that do we have a certificate for forecasting? If yes, then kahan se karna hai?
So I'll suggest you can do a basic course from there's a course from IIT Bombay named as Business Forecasting, which is a free course, and you can go to gain your initial understanding about forecasting. And once that is done, there are some agencies that provide paid courses. I'll suggest you. You can contact me. I'll suggest you. So I just don't
And
want that.
also one more course I can suggest you, Forage. So Forage is also a good simulation, market simulation course that Sagar you can do. I had also done that course. It's wonderful. Besides the one that Vicky sir mentioned. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Vicky. So, everybody, with the next two sessions are of Dr. Pushpendra Kumar, the founder of Dr. PK Classes, and Professor Sham Sundar Sharma, HOD of Pharmacology, Toxicology, Naipur, Mohali. So, the sessions are going to be at 6:10 p.m. So, Dr. Pushpendra will be joining us sharp at 6:10 p.m. and Professor Sham Sundar Sharma will be joining us sharp at 7:30 p.m. So, I expect you all to be there for the session and definitely lot of insights you are going to get from them because इनका experience काफी है. So stay connected for these sessions and the last three sessions are pending of Pushpendra sir, Sharma sir and Asim sir. So I hope you all enjoyed the 2 days boot camp session with us in which we had a lot of ameliorating sessions for career development, pharma competitive examinations, Indian abroad, pharma avenues and scope, skill development, AI in pharma, pharma industry, a global perspective, pharma forecasting and CI. And ahead, you are going to have a lecture on hidden and unexplored careers. So almost the day is over, but the sessions are not. So Vicky sir has just signed off with us with an amazing session. And now we have sessions of Dr. PK and Sharma sir lined up. So I hope that you all join on the same link by 6:10 p.m. Thank you for your attention and being a lovely audience as always. Barsha, are we there? Okay. Barsha, kindly be available at 6:05 p.m. All right. As Dr. PK will be joining at 6:10. So we can just join by 6:05 on the same link.